Hi guys, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. It's me, your favorite rebel, or at least your second favorite rebel, according to Rebel Viewers' Choice Awards voters. Thank you very much. I wanted to share with you my top 5 stories of the year, or the 5 that stuck with me. And as I put them together, I realized that they were the 5 things that were really made illegal during the pandemic. So here they are, in no particular order, SGR's 5 favorite illegal things during the last 365 days of 2 years, of 2 weeks, to flatten the curve. Okay, the very first one was, of course, illegal food. Illegal burgers, pizza, and cupcakes. From the Whistle Stop Cafe to the Big Valley Diner to Without Papers Pizza to Bake My Day Bakery in Beaumont, Alberta, and dozens of other restaurants that I covered but I haven't even listed here. You know exactly who you are. You're the best. I salute all these brave small business people who put it all on the line for freedom, but also for medical privacy. They made a stand for their entire industry, but for all Albertans, for those people who wanted to be able to choose whether they eat inside or out and whether they have to show their medical status to eat a cupcake.
And Chris Gov't in Mirror, Alberta had had enough. He had given the government all he was willing to give. And so he reopened his little cafe, the Whistle Stop, to dine in customers one more time. And I should tell you, the Whistle Stop is so much more than a diner. It's a gas station, it's a convenience store, and it's a campground. It's the only fuel station and mercantile for about 20 kilometers. It's essential to the tiny community of Mirror. And when Chris reopened his dining room, customers came from all around the province to support him in his act of rebellion. But the police came too, and so did Alberta health inspectors. They came nearly daily and harassed him, ticketed him, served him with summonses, injunctions, and they even sought court orders that could have imprisoned him. But Chris inspired other restaurant owners and small businesses to do the same thing until finally the government of Alberta bent the knee. The government ended the second lockdown after Chris Gov't stared them down. And through that whole ordeal, Rebel News stood beside Chris, and so did Rebel News viewers.
Now, the next one is illegal haircuts and nails. From Pink Phoenix Nails to Natalie Klein's Blades to Fades Barbershop in Innisfail. Here's to these brave ladies who stood up to the government after they did everything right and after they did everything they were asked to do and after they were responsible for absolutely zero COVID transmissions. They were still closed by a decree of a public health officer. So they stuck their necks out and invited trouble to put a face to what the government was doing to this largely female industry. By the way, where were you feminists on that one?
I think this is wonderful, and thank you to Rebel News and Sheila, of course. Being through us, or with me for the whole journey, it's been amazing. And, you know, I think there's still a lot of fight that's to come for sure. And hopefully in the coming weeks, we don't have to lock down, because I'm not going to close. I mean, there's going to be some serious pushback now.
Which is fine by me, because we'll just help you through fightthefines.com. As we already are, we're helping you sue the government as well for abusive process.
Yeah.
Natalie, thank you for doing this.
My next favorite illegal thing, it's kind of related to the first two. A few of the same names here. Let's hear it for those of you who held illegal protests after the government said protesting was a, quote, illegal public gathering. You risked it all to exercise your charter rights. Small town business owner Chris Gov't was even hauled off to jail for 3 days for exercising his right to free speech to protest the government's lockdown and seizure of his property. And he very nearly went back to jail again not all that long ago. Now, although it was a rodeo, it was really a rally against the lockdown restrictions in Alberta on every single one of us. Rodeo's been hit hard. The cowboys in Canada can't work and they can't make money, and the stock contractors are losing their shirts on livestock that they have to feed but can't earn money from. And small town rodeos all summer long bring in a lot of money to the local agricultural societies, the local 4-H clubs, and the local businesses. That's what happens when you have a few hundred cowboys and their friends roll on into town. Now, my next favorite illegal thing is the absurdity of an illegal Easter bunny. When anti-lockdown Innisfail mayoral candidate Glenn Carrott, co-founder of United We Roll, held a campaign event outside with the Easter bunny, well, 5050 somebody called the popo and the cops showed up and ticketed Glenn for an illegal public gathering. Good news is the Easter bunny hopped off scot-free and Fight the Fine stepped up to help Glenn with his ticket. But for me, that story perfectly encapsulated just how absolutely insane the lockdown measures are. That a guy outside in an Easter Bunny costume under 4 layers of bunny face-shaped styrofoam and fake fur was somehow a public health danger until such time as he put a mask on.
So we had an Easter event on the Easter weekend. We had an Easter bunny and we had hay rides and we had over 400 people there, and it was great fun. We had people in tears about how emotional it was to have this event for their kids, and you know how ludicrous it is. Why didn't they give the ticket to the Easter bunny? Because it's going to hold as much water as giving it to the Easter bunny as it is for me.
So I'm here on behalf of the town with respect to Alberta Health Services.
Okay.
Issuance of a fine for violating the Public Health Act.
And my last but not least favorite illegal thing in Alberta was church. From Pastor Art Poloski to James Coates to Tim Stevens to his brother Trevor and a dozen other pastors in between, these men faced and at least 3 accepted jail time for the crime of exercising their pastoral duty to their congregations, for protecting their church from government overreach, refusing to have their worship restricted or changed through government mandate. These men showed us the wheat from the chaff. They were the tall stalks in the field. I know my top 5 video of the year, it's not as cinematic as Adam's or holly jolly as Drea's, but I wanted to tell you that my list reflects everything I love about this province. It's not that we're rebellious, though we are, and I love that about us, but that Albertans insist on being free, whatever it takes, and no matter who tells us we can't be. We won't do what they told us just because they told us. And because of that and so much more, there's no place I'd rather spend 2022. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid.